Hello and welcome to another episode from the Legacy SMP with me, Mr. Beardstone. We've got a lot of things we want to be getting done today, and the cutest companion, a new chaotic event has begun. You have an insufficient amount of cute. Oh, no, right, okay, yep. So there appears to be a new chaotic event going on, and this particular one means I need to get myself an Axolotyl. I don't have an Axolotyl. I'm supposed to have one in my hotbar at all times, and yeah, we just don't have one. So I think the first thing we're going to do to kick off today's episode, before we get into anything about what we're supposed to be doing, is to go and find ourselves an Axolotyl. Do I have any buckets? I don't even have any buckets. Buckets have been acquired, and you may also notice I have wings now. So we actually went end raiding in between episodes. We did that on stream, and we had a lot of fun. We managed to get ourselves a couple of sets of wings, and I've also done a little bit more of the sort of bits and bobs I needed to do around that container in between episodes. But we've got wings, we've got lots and lots of shulker boxes and things like that, but we don't have an Axolotyl. So I'm going to go find one. I guess I'm just going to fly this way. So since the last episode, the server has also been updated to 1.17, which means we've got access to all the new blocks as well as the Axolotyls, and that means I'm actually going to fly out a little way to go to some newly generated chunks, and the hope is that we might be able to pick up a few of the new blocks while we're out here as well. Now, I don't exactly need loads of them or anything like that for now, but I kind of feel it'd be rude not to get them, right? So we should be far enough out now to have generated some new chunks. What I want to do, however, is see if I can find maybe some kind of a ravine or something like that that we can swim down into. So let's see if we can find some ocean, get an ocean ravine, and that might be our best bet for finding some Axolotyls. In fact, there's one right here, so I'm going to go and have a look down here and see what we can find. So I've made my way to the bottom of this ravine, and we do indeed have deep slate, which tells me that this is 100% a newly sort of generated area. And I didn't bring any torches with me because, yeah, why would I? Because that would be useful, wouldn't it? Oh, there were lots of watery caves in there, but sadly, no Axolotyls. So I don't actually know what the spawning conditions are for Axolotyls. I think it has to be above a stone block, maybe, but I have no idea about light levels. Ah, I found one. Not only a glow squid, but look, there's an Axolotyl. That's exactly what we're after. Oh, okay, and I appear to have found an ocean monument as well. Okay, right, let's see if I can quickly grab that Axolotyl. I need a bucket, Right, come here. Oh, you came straight to me. Where'd you go? Come here. Oh, this is difficult. Yes, excellent. Mission complete. Wonderful. And I'm gonna grab your ink as well. Sorry, thank you. Right, I'm gonna get out of here. There's an ocean monument right there. What are the chances? Run away! Oh, now I'm drowning too. I've not planned this well. And there we have it. An Axolotyl. Excellent. Although I think I may have just killed it. Come back! Oh no! Oh, what have I done? What have I done? Oof, excellent. Right, well, we have our first Axolotyl. The only problem we have now is it doesn't have a name. So if you've got any name suggestions, please do let me know in the comments. But for now, I think we're going to head back to base because we've got some building we need to be getting on with. We successfully made it home. We are safe and well, as is our brand new Axolotyl friend in our hotbar. So for the next few weeks, we need to make sure that he is always in our hotbar. However, there is one thing I forgot to get, or two things I forgot to get while we were out there, and that of course is copper and some amethyst shards. And I need those to make a spyglass, of course. Yes. So to you, that was like, what, half a second? To me, that was over an hour trying to find a geode. Madness. But we did eventually find one, and we managed to get our spyglass, which is, of course, important for keeping an eye on this shifty fella that lives next door. Yes, that's much better. Look at that. Beautiful. We can keep a much closer eye on him. In fact, we can get even closer because we also have the Optifine zoom. Yep. An hour well spent. But what with updating to 1.17, there are a lot of new blocks that we need to find homes for in our tiny little storage. And that's going to be a bit of a problem for us because, well, it's tiny. There's just no space in here really whatsoever, is there? Let's be honest. So with that in mind, I think the first project we're going to do today is to expand our storage. And, well, I suppose it'd probably be rude not to convert a shipping container into storage, wouldn't it? But we're going to do this one slightly differently. And, placement. I need to figure out where I want to place it. So let's see if we can get a bit more of a bird's eye view and do some planning, because there's actually a couple of builds we're putting down today, and they're both very important. There's, of course, the storage, and there's another one coming later. Well, this is as much of a bird's eye view as we're going to get here. So let me think. So storage. I think I'm going to put storage maybe around here somewhere. I think that's going to work quite well. So we're actually going to do a diagonal shipping container for the storage. So yeah, probably somewhere around there. I'll get that marked out in a moment, and that means the other build we're doing today will fit quite nicely here, next to where we're currently growing trees, but that is of course temporary, as are the farms there. They're all going to be, they're all going to be gone very soon. So in order to make this storage unit, I'm going to need to get myself some materials. I don't think I have what I need, because we need, first off, well, to make the main part of the container, but I don't want to do a grey one, don't want to do a green one, and I certainly don't want to be doing a brown one. So what I need to do is to go and get myself some terracotta. So I need to find the mesa. I have absolutely no idea where the mesa is, so that could be quite an adventure in itself. We're going to grab some terracotta, we're going to grab some dyes, because I want to use purple terracotta for this one. And as a nice addition to that, I think we're going to go to the nether and grab some crimson wood too, because crimson wood and the purple terracotta go quite well together, believe it or not. So I've done a bit of planning, and this is where I think I'm going to put the storage container. So as I say, I am doing it as a diagonal one. I think that's going to open up more opportunities to store things properly, and that's also going to leave space elsewhere for the other projects we've got going on today. However, I don't have replay mods. I'm floating around in a camera account at the moment. It's all very weird. But we don't have the replay mod for 1.17 currently. So I guess we're going to be doing a first-person montage for this one. Which is absolutely fine, not a problem whatsoever. Just means it's going to be slightly different to what you normally see on my legacy videos. I'm going to have a quick nap, and then I'm going to come out here and build this container. And once we've got it built up, we'll figure out how we're going to store things inside it.
Let's go paint the town red, what you say? You know that I would, but I got bills to pay. Take me dancing in your living room. Take your shoes off. Do, 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 do. Money makes the world go round. Money can't buy the love we found. Money troubles go away. I got bills to pay, my baby. Bills to pay. I got bills to pay, my baby. I got bills to pay. Hey Jim, let's go shopping up and down the way. Well, I'll buy you anything, 'cause it's your special day. You don't have to be the latest fashion. You don't have to be made of gold. I don't need no fancy handbag if I got your hand of gold. Money makes the world go round. Money can't buy the love we found. Money troubles go away. I got bills to pay, my baby. I got bills to pay. I got bills to pay, my baby. I've got bills to pay. Woo!
Well, it's not finished, but we have made some good progress, and I've basically started working out where some of the items are going to be going in here. But this is a bit of a bigger container than the other ones. Think of this as like an extra wide container. It's 1 block taller, it's 2 blocks wider, and it's a similar kind of length to the one we have over there. I think it might be a block or 2 longer, but this should be plenty of chests in here for what we're going to need. So this layout for storage is actually something I saw Fwip doing, and because I knew that I wanted to have some diagonal containers, but most of my containers are having farms in, this seemed like a really good way to solve a couple of my problems, really, to get a bit of variation in the containers, and of course to have an excellent storage system. And this should work out quite well. My plan is to have sort of, you know, logs on the bottom boxes here, and then the different variants of what you can make from said logs, and then the ones at the top are going to be a bit more random. This is the sort of crafted items and so on we've got on this side, and then the bulk block storage is going to be done on this side in these slightly smaller stacks of chests, but we've still got space to add more if we need to. The rest of this interior, however, is a bit lackluster. We need to sort out the roof, we need to sort out, well, basically the rest of the interior, really. We're going to have a few armor stands in here as well with different armor types and so on. But yeah, lots of work still to be done on the inside and also on the outside, because that is looking very, very bland, as is the side of this one here. So I do actually need to do, as I say, the outside of this one and the outside of this one, so I'm probably going to do both at the same time. But I also want to make sure that I'm keeping my sort of continuous path that we've got that allows you to travel along all these containers across the top. And I appear to have a hole there. How odd. So something else I'm going to do, I think, is to build a bridge across here, and we're going to have another ladder going back up to the top of that one. So once again, we've just got full access everywhere. And this will, of course, act as part of an exterior wall around the back, which means we need to connect it up here. So the bit that I originally marked out, I can now get rid of. I can put a proper wall in here, and we're making our area that little bit more secure, this time from that side over there. But it's all well and good saying I need to do all of these things. And you may be wondering, well, why didn't I do them and put them into the time-lapse? The reason for that is I ran out of resources. Again. So I'm going to go on a little mining trip to get myself some more iron. I know there's an iron farm over there, but the next project we're working on is actually going to be to make a small iron farm over here. Just so we've got a personal one that's always running. Once again, I know that this is a sort of, you know, community resource-based server, so I don't really need to be doing that, but I've got a really good idea for one using an excellent farm designed by Grandma Mommy, and I think it's just going to fit really well in here. So that's why we're making it. But the reason for going mining is also to get lots and lots of copper, because now that we've upgraded the server, we can get access to copper and deep slate and some, well, many other things, really. So we're going to go fly a couple of thousand blocks away, go on a proper mining trip for a little bit, and then when we come back, we should have a lot more of the things we need to get this area finished, well, this container finished, and get the side of these containers done, and then, of course, connect things up, get a bridge across, and get this whole area looking lovely. And I think that's starting to look quite lovely indeed. So I did actually make use of the rest of the parachute canopy that we had stored in one tiny little barrel over there. Not quite sure how that managed to fit in, but it did, and we've managed to, you know, utilize that over in this section too. So my plan here is to put a bit more storage stuff outside. Not that we're actually going to use it for storage, but just to make it look like a sort of, you know, loading drop-off area type thing, because it is just inside the main entrance of our base here. And I've also decorated the outside of the containers, as you can see. So the purple one, we've just done, you know, similar kind of thing to what we did over there. Tried to break up the purple a little bit more. I did have a lot more of the iron bars and things on it, but it just looked way too busy, so I ended up having to get rid of those. But overall, I'm pleased with how this has come together. However, the roof itself is still looking a little bit bland. So if we go up here, you know, I have got one of the sort of radio miles towers in. I do need to still put some torches on the top, but the rest of the roof is fairly, you know, basic really. There's not really a lot going on. And we've also got a ladder going up here. But that's not all we've done outside. You may have seen it in the background, but look, we've added a windmill as well. So this is actually something I've been meaning to add for quite a while, mainly just to give the base a little bit of a height variation, but also that is going to be our main power supply. So we're going to be hooking up sort of like power cables to that and have a little bit of fun linking that up to some of the builds we've got going on here as well. On the inside, I have started sorting out the storage and arranging where things are going to go. So I've kind of moved most things over from our original storage area that, well, just got too small for us really. And I've started organising things quite well as well. And from here, I do love the fact that you can basically see the entire wall on that side. And from here, you can just see the sort of vast collections of blocks that we've got going on as well. By vast collections, I mean there's a stack or two here and there. I never did get around to doing that mining trip, however, so we still don't have any copper or any of the new blocks, at least not beyond what we got on our very first mining trip. But we've actually got another project we need to be working on over here now. So you may notice I've cleared away where we were growing our trees, got rid of all the podzol that we had growing over there, and I think it's about time we build up ourselves an iron farm. So the iron farm comes with a couple of difficulties in that we are going to need to get a couple of villagers, well, 3 villagers in fact, and we're also going to need to get a zombie. Luckily, as we have 2 villagers in here, we have our wonderful Fletchers who have been helping us out with emeralds. We can just breed those up, get 3 more villagers, and get them into an iron farm. The next thing then, of course, will be to acquire ourselves a zombie, which we will also need to put in there, and we're going to need to name tag that zombie, and I don't currently have a name tag. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the build of the farm, and once we've got it all up and running and looking nice, then we'll get the zombies and the villagers in it at a later date, because, well, as I say, it could be a bit of a struggle. I'm probably going to have to go fishing for a while just to get a name tag. So this is another one of those occasions where I'd normally spoil you with some funky time lapse to make it all look cool as we build it, but as I can't do that, you may end up with a montage, or we may end up just cutting back once the structure of the thing is built. In fact, I think that's probably what we'll do. We'll probably, you know, do a sort of talky through build type thing, right? I'm sure I can do that just fine. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is to focus on building the farm itself, and not so much the shell that's going around it. And for that, we are going to need some glass. I don't really have much glass. I do have some sand, I guess, so I can make some glass if we go put this in our wonderful smelter. So I'm going to make a start on that. I'm going to get the basics of the farm built up. And as I believe I did mention earlier, the farm we're actually going to be building is one that was designed by Grandma Mommy. It is a very, very, very good early game farm. It's great for just one player, and it will still get you sort of 4 or 5 stacks of iron per hour, which is more than enough for one person, especially when there's a massive iron farm about 100 blocks behind him. So I'm going to crack on with this. Once I've got the iron farm itself built up, I'll bring you back in before we start on the structure that's going to surround it. But if you do want to know how to make this farm, I will link to the video in the description. As I say, it's a very easy farm to do. It only takes about 15 minutes to put together, and will give you plenty of iron. And there we go, it's as simple as that. So all we need to do now is to get 3 villagers in that pod there, and then we need to get ourselves a name tag and put a name tagged zombie on that spot there. And what will then happen is the golems will spawn up here, they'll burn to death, and the drops will go currently into that chest there. I am, of course, going to make that go to somewhere much more convenient, but for now that'll do because, well, it's not as if it's producing anything anyway, is it? So although I said I was going to get the outside structure done before I put the villagers in there, I've realised that's probably just going to make my life more difficult than it needs to be. So instead of that, I'm going to free these 2, and I'm going to make some babies. So, I should probably get a fence down first. Okay, so the villagers are free, they have just been fed, and hopefully they're going to make some babies. So we actually need 3 that we need to get up there, so I should probably make a way to get them up there, and I'm thinking the easiest way is probably actually going to be for me to just put a minecart track that goes all the way up. I can then reuse the same track for the zombie. So I'm going to spend a bit of time breeding these guys up, trying to get them up into there, and I guess I'm going to go fishing for a name tag in the meantime. As you can see, the iron farm is working a treat. We've got our 3 villagers in there, we've also got the zombie, and of course, as you just saw, we have golems burning to death, which is exactly what we're after. So the next step, however, is, I guess, to decorate this and make it look a lot nicer. Now, I guess I should probably sleep to make sure we don't have too many more mobs coming, and then I'm going to get on the decoration of this. And the idea here is going to be to turn it into a water tower. So we're going to be making use of, I don't know, probably some basalt, some blackstone, and lots of other things I don't really have much of. So I'm going to grab a few bits and bobs, get this looking nice, and I'll meet you back here in just a moment. And just a moment later, we have a great big water silo tower type thing. Yeah. So what I've done here is basically just wrapped the iron farm at the top there in this sort of container, because the way that the golems spawn, they can only spawn to sort of a maximum height above where the village is, and as long as I make sure the blocks around it were spawn proofed, then we're okay, and all the golems stay inside, and that's marvellous. Well, at least they stay inside until they burn to death. And then another one comes along, and then that one burns to death, and that's how an iron farm works. So I've tried to put in a few details here to make it look a bit more like a water tower and also still have access to the farm should we need to fix things, which we actually did, but I'll get to that in just a moment. But all the drops come down here, the iron goes into this box, and as you can see, it's been producing lovely just while I've been building. In regards to the poppies, we actually have an impulse item sorter, which is kind of bent round a corner up there. It's a little bit janky, but it does the job, and that sorts out all the poppies, dumps them into this composter and turns those into bone meal. So yeah, we get bone meal and iron from this. Not a lot of bone meal. Stop it. I'm gonna look at that dude 1 second. Anyway, right, so if we go up here, I can show you what's going on at the top. So to keep it spawn proofed up the top here, I've put trapdoors down, and what I've done is I've put them on the bottom of the blocks, so nothing can actually spawn on top of those. The only ones that are lower down are where I've sort of adjusted it so I can fit the handrail in and so on, but that just sort of adds to the janky look of it. And from here, we've also got a door so we can see inside the farm should there be any problems. And you may have just seen the zombie move there, which wasn't part of the original design. But I was having a slight issue where the villagers here, every time I leave the area and come back, the iron farm basically stops working until the villagers go to bed and sort of reconnect to their beds, but they won't reconnect to their beds if the zombie is visible. So therefore, every now and then I drop him down like that, the villagers are calm, and then they can get in their beds if it's night time, it resets the farm, and then the golems start burning again. So because I've just logged in, you'll notice there's not actually any golems going at the moment, but as soon as it gets to the first night, the villagers will have a cheeky little nap, and yeah, providing the zombie is down there, which as I say it will be every now and then yeah, they'll nap, they'll connect to their beds, and then they'll get woken up when the zombie pops back up, and they will start producing golems again, and the farm's back on. So the way that works, if I just go down here, I've literally just got an etho hopper clock that, can I get to it around here? Maybe if I, yeah, there you go. So we've just got an etho hopper clock there, and in a very tight redstone area, I had to make sure not to lock the hoppers as well, but that all links around, and it just pushes this piston up and down, which pulls the slab up and down that the zombie is standing on. So it is all very crammed up here on the inside of the tower, but everything works an absolute treat. And to be honest, I think it works really well with the area as well. I think it fits in and yeah, just adds a bit more verticality to the whole area. Is that even a word? So I think we've done quite well today. We've managed to get our storage sorted out. We've got our power generation sorted out, although it's not currently linked to anything. And we've got an iron farm up and running. But as usual, there's still a lot to do in this area. We've got more things we need to link up, and I really need to go do some resource gathering. So you can fully expect the start of the next episode to be me just getting all of the things. Although unless we get replay mod, that's probably not going to happen, so I might just turn up with all the things. Who knows? But if you have enjoyed today's episode, thank you very much for sticking around till the end, and please do leave a like and drop a comment if you like what you see, or if you've got any other suggestions for what we can put in this place. And actually, I think we can probably update the board now, can't we? We can remove the mini iron farm and see what else we've actually still got on here. So yeah, power turbine, that's done as well. Excellent. So we are making good progress through our board. Still need to do the watchtower, still need to do some food, a bridge, and bring Thomas a present. Well, that's new. I guess we'll sort that out at the start of next episode as well. So thank you very much for hanging out, and as I say, please do drop a like, and if it's your first time here, please do consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next episode from the Legacy SMP. Bye-bye now.